Welcome to the Getting Real with Hilary show, where ordinary heroes tell extraordinary stories during unique and never been heard before conversations with your host, Hilary Arno Burns. Hilary's unique listening and way of asking questions results in conversations that aren't usually talked about, so you can create the life that you really want but are afraid you can't really have. We are demonstrating the greatness in the human spirit and creating a world where we all reclaim our birthright of joy, happiness, purpose, and passion. Now, here's your host, Hilary Arno Burns. Welcome to the Getting Real with Hilary show, and today we have a very special guest. We have Shani Madaminova. She's an author, a healer, a CEO, a mother of three, and a wife with an incredible story. So I will let Shani tell it to you. Welcome, Shani.
Hi, Hilary. Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Yay. And Shani and I met, I think we met in Spiritual Mastery, right? With
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that's how we met. I said something about my show and she contacted me, and here she is. Little did I know what a powerful story she has. And wow. Let's see. Do you want to start? The beginning of Shani's book just grabs you and you're like, what? Do you want to tell that story? And then if they want to get the rest from CEO to healer, your book, what do you think?
Yeah.
Parents.
Yeah. So the whole reason of me writing this book is actually I've been pushed to do this. I'm a very, very private person. I am a CEO of many healthcare companies based out of New Jersey. And just happened to be that I had a life event, near-death experience in Paris, and just happened to be that I was able, I survived, so I was given a second chance. So since this happened, everything had changed in my life, everything. I mean, my whole perception of life, perception of the way I look at things, to work, the business itself, to people, the family dynamics, everything had changed dramatically. And I guess that's why I've been pushed to write this book. Where I actually explain.
Yeah, before all that, I don't know if you were a workaholic, but you worked really, really, really hard, long days. You came here from what country?
From Uzbekistan. I came here when I was 19.
Okay.
With two suitcases, and I landed at JFK, and I was a student studying. I was studying for law enforcement to be in law enforcement. Actually, I did work for the city, and just happened to be that coming to United States with no English at the age of 19. And getting into healthcare with no medical degree, with no medical background experience, leaving the law enforcement position to actually open my own company and to start from very, very small office, which is like 300 square feet, very small business in New Jersey, and everything just took off. Everything just unraveled there. So obviously, I did hit a lot of obstacles, and there were lots of hurdles, it's like constant going down, down, down. When you hit, usually this is what happens when you go into business. And I was never giving up. I always had faith that no matter what, that I will make it. So I always had faith since I was a kid. So, and I knew that.
Can we just tell them the part of who picked you up at the airport when you were 19?
Oh, so I came here. Yeah, that's the funniest moment. When I came here, I was 19 years old, so I didn't speak the language. And my dad is a truck driver, and he had a colleague who was a truck driver as well. he just called him up, said, "Listen, I don't know where you're gonna go with no English, with no apartment. Where you're gonna stay?" And I had a school to go to. He's like, "I'm gonna call my friend and I'm gonna ask him to find you a place." So instead of his friend, he sends his son to meet me at the airport, at JFK Airport. Who then later, the same son who met me at the airport actually is my husband. So we've been together for 26 years now.
Now, was he also from, I don't know how,
From
Uzbekistan?
Uzbekistan. Yes,
Okay.
he was from Uzbekistan, correct? Yeah, but they came here much earlier than I did.
So where were you going to college without being able to speak English when you got here?
I was in Colombia taking their it's like a student exchange program or something. So where you learn the language, the English.
Oh.
And for 2 years, I've been studying English. I loved it. I mean, I fell in love with this country. I
So
mean,
you weren't supposed to stay originally. You just came.
originally, no. And then here, my husband, he starts pulling me. So he never let me go.
Oh my God, that's so
I was
cute.
supposed to go back, but then, yeah, I stayed. I really, I
And where
guess
did you,
this is
where
what
did,
love too, right?
no, I think it's awesome. Where did you stay? Like that first day with,
Oh,
or
I
were you
stayed
going
at
to
their
college?
home, and then within a week, I found an apartment.
And you went
And
to Columbia. You were going to Columbia.
went to Stanford University, correct? They have a very strong English program, and it was, yeah, it was very
Wow.
good program, yeah.
Now you were also working at the hair salon, right?
Yeah,
So,
later on, I was working part-time, because I, come on, I was already over 20, and then my husband, I mean, back then he was my boyfriend, I would say. He would be like, "Go to work. Like, why you not working?" I was like, "I'm in Uzbekistan. It's a third world country, so usually women they stay home with the kids and a family, having family, and here I am, was like, what do you mean work? You have to go to work. I have to work." Oh, he goes, "Yes, this is what people do." And I was like surprised because no one in my family actually, no females, they actually work. Everybody stays home and take care of the kids. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. So one day he takes me to Manhattan. He goes, "Go get dressed. We're gonna go to Manhattan." Here I am. I was so happy. I hop in the car. I dressed up as a very nice, like purple, beautiful capris and nice top. And I go to Manhattan. So he opens the door in the front, right in the Midtown. Opens the door. He goes, "Get out." I was like, "Here?" He's like, "Yeah, get out." So I get out. I thought he's gonna go to park the car. I got out. He goes, "Now what?" He goes, "Go look for a job."
oh my God.
And I was like,
And he left you?
"It's too bad." He goes, "Just walk in and say I'm looking for a job."
So is that where you found the salon?
No, that was my
Oh.
first job, actually. No, what I'm saying is the first encounter of my job that I had to actually work was in a restaurant. I was working as a hostess.
Oh,
And
okay.
walking to this Chinese restaurant, and I say exactly the same word what he says. I am looking for a job. They looked at me. They're like, "You hired." I was surprised how fast I was hired.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I come out, he looks at me, he goes, "So?" I was like, "I got a job. I have to start on Monday." He was in shock himself. So, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So you went to school, you stayed, you ended up moving north. Well, you worked at the hair salon. They loved you. You helped their business thrive, right? And then why were you moving upstate for your husband?
My husband back then he bought a townhouse in upstate New York.
Okay.
So New York was very expensive, and then he graduated from college, and then I was working actually in a salon back then. And when we moved there, and it was, I was traveling back and forth I remember it was like 1 hour, 40 minutes just on the train to get to the
Oh.
city. So it was a very, very tough commute. So I commuted about 5 years, maybe.
5 years?
It
Every
was
day?
every day because I
Whoa.
was in college in the city, and I was working. I was running the salon, the spas in the city. So then I was pregnant with my first child, and I told it was very tough to commute. And
Yeah.
I told my boss back then, I said, "Listen, I can't do it anymore." I said, "It's so tough, especially the baby's pushing on your bladder to be traveling back and forth." I was like, "I can't." I said, "I'm so sorry. It's time for me to move on." And he goes, "No, I'll open up a salon for you in upstate." Believe it or not, he did open, and the salon was flourishing. I mean, we're the first one who actually brought the service that was not available in upstate New York. So, and we were just doing great.
Wow. Okay.
He did not want to let me go, my boss.
That's amazing, right? He'll just open up a salon for you. Okay. And then some of your, I don't know, relatives said, hey, come to New Jersey because you could start this healthcare business, right? Was that how it worked?
My husband, a former friend, he opened his agency and home healthcare agency, and then he goes, "Why don't you come and start doing this?" Well, I was like, "Listen, I'm not a nurse. I don't have any medical
Yeah.
background, and I only had idea. I know how to open like a hair salon now because I was already managing, right? But I did not know anything about healthcare." And he goes, "No, it's okay. You don't need to know anything. You're just gonna be the owner." I was like, "Really?" And then when I remember when we decided to go, my husband asked me, "You think you could do it?" And I never forget. My heart was freezing, honestly. I mean, I could not even, I did not show it to my husband back then, but he goes, "Well, if dog can be trained, I'm pretty sure I can be trained too." So that's what my answer.
And how old were you? How old were you at that point?
Let me see, I was 27.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many
And
kids did you have
was
by then?
pregnant is my second child when we when we launched, and also then I started commuting this way, so it was 83 miles in the car
Oh,
from state New York to Jersey constantly every day. So that was tough. So I did that for 2 years, and then I had I remember walking with this breast pump machine
yeah.
to because you have to be a mother. I mean, you can't stop being a mother. You cannot
Right.
be with being a wife. You run the business, and that's on top of it. So I was wearing different hats every day. I was the business that I was launching because we could not even afford an employee.
Oh,
It was everything. So I was an HR. I was a coordinator. I was a marketer. I was the payroll department, authorizations department, billing department. I mean, you know, to
how
the
did
point whenever I had to go out to do marketing, I would just put a sign out for marketing. If something, please call, and then calls will come to my cell phone. So I had to walk from senior housing to senior housings, to nursing homes, to doctors, to discharge hospitals. I mean, it was tough, to grow the business like any business, but it takes lots of sacrifice, resilience, patience, faith. Most of all is faith, because there were days that were tough. Like, I wanted to cry. There were days that I would be sleeping in my office because the commute was 3 hours back way, because to get out of the city and drive, it was 3 hours each way. So it was very tough. But that only my faith kept me going. And I knew that as long as I put my energy and effort into this business, it will flourish. And I truly believed in it. And I still do. In everything that you do, as long as you put your love and energy into it, it will come back to you. And that's how it works.
now the first year and a half, you said in the book that you were trying to get some kind of papers and you couldn't get them. I remember you said,
Yes, to open up a healthcare company, I mean, New Jersey is the the most scrutinized and I guess bureaucratic state, and it's there have so many laws and regulations to run any business. I mean, it's so much easier to open in New York, other states. I could tell. If you can run a business in New Jersey, you can run a business in anywhere in the states because it's very they're very strict on laws and regs, and you constantly have to be on point. So to get the licensures and permits, it's like first you have to show that you know how to work. So that means we still have to have employees, we still have to have clients, and you have to pay it out of your pocket at the beginning. So it's tough because if you don't have money, how are you going to pay payroll? How are you going to, and it's, you have to have all the insurances.
What could you not do before you got you couldn't charge
You
clients?
could not charge clients. I had to pay out of my pocket to the employees. Yes, correct. Yeah, that's how it works.
So where did you get the money? That was what your husband was.
My husband, he was a car salesperson, and when you're car sales, you don't have salary. You work on commissions. You don't sell a car, you don't make money. So it was very tough. He was funding the whole house, the mortgage, the cars, the kids, the daycares. I mean, the nanny, and plus the business, and the business has employees. The employees. So it was
Oh my God.
almost be bankrupt. Honestly, Hillary, if it wasn't. I remember he called me like around May-ish, I believe. Was it May? May. And he told me, Shani, we can't. We can't continue. I understand you're growing the business. He says, we're on the verge of bankruptcy. You need to shut down the business. And I said, please just give me this month. Please just give me this month. And what I did not know. I remember I'm sitting like this and I'm like, oh my God, what I'm going to do? And what I did is all of a sudden I had this courage that I took the email of the person who I was dealing with, put it on top, and I CC'd every commissioner, like DOH. I mean, I'm talking about Department of Health, Human Services. I mean, children's. I mean, anyone. Like I was able to find online. I just put them in CC, and I also put their attorneys. I just didn't know what to do. I just put them in, and I said, I request my approval to come to me now because I put in so many years. I poured my heart into this email because I think that whoever read that email truly understood how frustrated, how lost I was, how depressed I was because I could not get that number to start billing, to start collecting money because it was tough, And the next day, I received approval. I could not believe it. I was like,
So what was the problem? Why did it take a year and a half?
that's how state people work.
So somehow, wow. So that kept you in business, right? So was that the beginning? I know you said you got.
That was the beginning of my journey in the healthcare. And because I was so starved to, I guess you could say, to eat, I was hungry, right? So I was constantly working, but I was not eating. I just went fast. I started running because I knew that I need to pay off those loans that we took, because we had to pay them. And I was like, oh my God, I need to now work. So that's when the race had started. Then I was hitting every senior building, every nursing homes, every assisted living. I was just begging them to come to my business. And I remember my very first presentation, it was in a Hispanic senior building. And it had to be in Spanish. And in college, I took some Spanish classes. So I remember the keywords that I used, and I was like, come to my agencia. Like I was trying to the English, Spanish, and just Spanglish, I guess you call it. And 5 people signed up, Hilary. I could not believe it. I said, God, thank you so much for this abundance. For me, those 5 people maybe does not mean anything, but for me, it meant the world because it showed me.
What were they signing up for to be taken? Were
Actually,
they
receive services from us. So
the actual people?
yeah, I would send them the caregivers to their homes, and they are my caregivers, so they come to join my company, and I
Yeah.
will send them, and they will work, and the clients will be happy. And as soon as one client is happy, then they start talking to their friends, and then that's how we started growing. So I'm forever grateful for that chance, for that moment, that opportunity they gave me when they became my clients, because that opportunity, that chance that they had given me, gave me a tremendous, I guess, boost in confidence
Mhm.
that I could actually do it. So, and believe in myself that yes, if you don't give up, you could do it. And that's, I guess, that was my push and confidence that they given me to elevate my self-esteem, I guess.
Yeah. So what were you doing before that? Like you had employees. What were they doing? Were they not taking care?
Remember that we had to show that they were
Yeah.
we had to show still that we care for this, but it was charity. So now I can actually
Charge.
bill. It's not charity, so at least I can get reimbursed. So now I can pay them more salary,
Right.
because when we're financially, like very small in budget, you can't pay them. You can only pay them this much, you
Right.
know. And
Wow.
when people
So you
actually,
had the people.
yeah,
You already had the people. Wow.
correct.
All right. So from there, the business grew. I know you said one woman gave you her hardest cases to see if you could do it.
Yeah, there was one case manager. I remember Marie. She was like very strict, a very professional woman, and she had this whole. It's a case management, it's a non-for-profit organization, and I remember I did the presentation in front of all case managers. And imagine all case managers, either they work for the state or they work for non-for-profit agencies. And I remember there were like 30 of them, and I brought breakfast. While they were eating breakfast, I had to present. And as soon as I come out, I lost my voice. I was like, my heart started racing because I never presented in front of so many people. And plus, these people, I'm an immigrant, right? I came here when I was 19, and these people were born Americans, right? I was like, oh my God, now they're going to judge me. So all this sabotage, right? So I started self-sabotaging. So I was like, I'm not worthy enough to be in front of these people. I have the accent. I don't look the same. I don't sound the same. And then all this, all of a sudden, it hits you, right? And then you become so small in front of them, the fear kicks in. So I lost my voice and I started shaking. My hands started shaking, legs started shaking. And then they're like, Shani, you can do it. Speak. And they started clapping. So I
Oh.
deep breath in and out. I was like, and I started like, hi, my name is Shani. And I started talking about my company. And I remember Marie said, I give you one case. If you can prove they could do it, you could do it, I'll give you more. So, and I remember she gave me the case. This is the smallest case that any agency actually, like in the reality, will take. It was 4 hours a week. So 2 hours one day, 2 hours another day. So it's, to be honest, the income you will probably get, I don't know, maybe like $10, right?
Right.
But for me, it was not about money, correct? At this time, for me, it was to prove them that I can actually take on difficult cases and to be able to serve these difficult cases. And then it was in a very hard to serve area, and I took the case, and she was happy. She was, oh my God, I love her. I love her team. I love the way the business. She's very professional. And after that, she started calling. Oh, the case worked out for me. So refer. So everybody started referring afterwards. So yeah, Marie got kind of, she gave me that one case, that hard to serve case. Actually, I was able to show her that.
Wow. And then how many years until it like started making money? Like that you got out of the debt?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I started working fast. The very first year, actually, half year, we hit big number already. Like, because I started operating with my permits, like half of the in 6 months. I guess in July I started first, and for 6 months we hit that number 100, and I was like, oh my god, I hit 100 patients. I was so happy. That was my happiest moment of my life because I set my goal.
Yeah.
I always set goal higher, like 150, and I hit 100, and I was still satisfied with that. And I just gave pat on myself, like, good job, you did it.
You needed 100 people taking care of those people, or did some do more than one? I mean, that's a lot of people to be managing and
No, like, for
hiring.
example, one caregiver can take up to 2-3 cases.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I was able to hit that 100 clients, and I was so happy with that. And then we started growing because I was in a very small office, 300 square feet. So literally, I mean, the bathroom was smaller than in an airplane bathroom. It was so small you could not even move. But we could only afford that much, right? And then in the business, you have to constantly keep the cash flow going backwards because if you're growing, you cannot take any cash out. So my very first salary, I remember, I wrote a check to myself, $1,000 after 4 years in business, Hilary.
Wow.
So imagine we did not take anything for ourselves, like my husband or like, so my husband was constantly we were putting back all the money. It was constantly there because we're growing. So that money was eating up. So constantly growing. Then I started expanding. So from
Did you ever did you ever move to New Jersey so you didn't have the commute? I mean,
Yes. Like after 2 years of my commute, I said I can't do it no more because my baby was. You remember I said when I opened it, I was pregnant, so she was an infant, and then she was 2 years old. I said, listen, I the nanny was raising. I said I'm not seeing my kids. I leave at 7 a.m. I come back at 11:30 at night.
ah,
Because and then your baby's sleeping constantly, here I'm
right.
just pumping, and the nanny will only give her the. So I said, I'm not seeing our kids are growing up without us. I said, let's just rent an apartment in New Jersey, which we did. And we lived in a rented apartment in New Jersey, while on weekends we would go to a house. And then at the end, we just sold the house and we just bought the house in New Jersey because it was tough anyways.
Yeah.
We all knew that we're going to be in New Jersey because the job was in New Jersey anyways. So we moved to New Jersey. But we had expanded our, since I was in a very small office in Jersey City, 300 square feet. Then we started expanding, and to this day, now we have like in total like 11 home health care branches in the state, across the state.
All in New Jersey. Wow.
So we were able to cover the whole Jersey area, and right now we service veterans, U.S. Navy SEALs, all the U.S. Army families, the
Wow.
Department of Developmental Disabilities, all the members there, state Medicaid. I mean, we've been servicing autistic, Down syndrome children, from pediatric to geriatric. So we accept all the cases. We never say no to any patient. Does not matter what background, what language, what religion. We just accept them all.
And how many caregivers do you have?
Thousands. Because we had to capture, yeah.
Wow. So I guess your husband was happy that he didn't make you stop, right?
Yeah, now he is, yeah. So yeah, I've been blessed with this. So I'm forever grateful for this chance that God has given me. And that's why that expansion constantly was happening. I was going to tell you about that. I guess I was expanding to other services, not just home health care. We're in social and medical adult daycare centers. And
Wow.
but I thought maybe by opening all these ventures, it's going to make me happy in everything that, if I only open this
Mm.
healthcare facility, then I'll be happy, then I'll stop. And it never ends. And it's constantly, I notice that it's constant, like, I get it, I do it, I make it successful. I build a business, I create it, I make it successful. And then you feel like, okay, now I made a success. Now what? So it's constant. You have this constant internally desire that you're searching for something and you couldn't understand. And then I understood that it's not whatever I was building, right, creating, what was not making me happy at the end.
Mm.
So, and one day in 2022, when it happened in Paris, that near-death experience, when I reconsidered the whole life, how I look at things, and I started asking questions, why God gave me a second chance, where women usually would be dead. Like usually you die, whatever I had, usually you die in the matter of minutes, up to 4 hours. And here I am alive. And I'm like, how am I still alive? And you start asking questions, and then you stop searching, you stop chasing. Because I was chasing, I guess, for success, for money, for things that I thought, tangible things that I thought that would make me happy. And after that event, I realized, no, it was not. Whatever I was thinking, it was the wrong mindset that I had. And
Shani, we got to take our commercial break and then we'll be right back. So remember that thought, writing it down, mindset, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
And Shani is a brand new sponsor. So yay, Shani. All right, we'll be right back.
Sure.
What if school could be a place where every child feels safe to be themselves? Right now, kids are growing up in a complicated world. They're learning how to listen, how to care, and how to find their voice. Kokori's daily digital calendar of research-backed lessons helps children build confidence, empathy, and resilience through joyful play-based learning. When children feel connected and supported, they don't just learn more, they grow into kinder, braver humans. Kokori, helping kids grow together.
Hey, it's Hilary from the Getting Real with Hilary show. Life can be messy, raw, and real. And sometimes we're afraid to feel vulnerable. We're afraid to be that real self. Well, that's exactly what the Getting Real with Hilary show and Getting Real movement is all about. Being our true selves. Every week, I bring you stories of transformation, authenticity, and hope. People getting real with their struggles, their faith, and their breakthroughs. So don't miss a thing. Subscribe to my weekly newsletter today. You'll get stories, links to everything new, and how to create a life you love every week directly to your inbox. You can also find my books on Amazon. My courageous and riveting memoir, The Second Piece of French Toast, in case you feel stuck in your life and want to get inspired. How I came out about my no sex life and my marriage, and my second book, Real Talk. That one will get you speaking up in ways you've been too afraid to do so, and really creating amazing freedom. And my third book, How to Stop Fixing Yourself and Start Having Fun, the name is called Your Bullshit is Your Blessing. Find links to everything and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Getting Real with Hilary, and you'll find the links in the header. So, visit. And you can also visit gettingrealwithhilary.com because the real you is worth it and wants to come out. And thank you, as always, to our sponsors. You saw their commercials and you see their logos going on underneath Shani and I. So thank you again for making this show possible. And now we're going to continue our amazing conversation with Shani. So can we tell them what happened in Paris, or would you want them to read the book?
It's I had an ectopic pregnancy.
Yes.
And just happened to be, and I was misdiagnosed with a severe food poisoning, which nearly killed me. So when you usually during ectopic pregnancy, obviously you lose the child, and at the same time, internal bleeding starts happening.
Did you know you were pregnant?
I knew,
You
but
knew.
I didn't know because I'm a mother of 3, and I never even thought in my life that I had an ectopic pregnancy, honestly.
Right.
So I thought that I had an appendicitis back then, and I was like, maybe I have appendicitis. But the French doctor said, no, it's a severe food poisoning. So, but now I understand that it had to happen. He had to say it this way because I had to come to New Jersey to get operated. Otherwise, I think I would have been dead in Paris.
Oh, okay. So you lasted, but normally someone lasts, what, at the most 4 hours? You lasted how many days?
3 days.
3 days.
I
God was saving
could
you.
not already walk. So that night when it happened, the next morning I already couldn't walk. I mean, in the midnight I already couldn't walk, because what happens when you have internal bleeding, everything you can't walk anymore. You become paralyzed. So, and my husband was surprised, like, what kind of food poisoning is that you cannot even walk? They had to dress him, and my son had to dress me up, put me in a wheelchair. I had to learn how to walk again after surgery because for months
How did they operate? Like, what did they do to save you?
they just, because when the whole blood from everywhere just collects into one place, right?
Yeah.
So from I mean, I did not even have veins, so they had to do so much transfusion. When I came in, I remember as soon as we flew in, since we are in healthcare, my husband had contacted from the plane. Could you please, to one of our nurses, could you please come and give her IV? She has food poisoning. And when we got there, he was already there. And he asked, he goes, by any chance, is she pregnant? And my husband says, yes. He goes, oh my God, she has ectopic pregnancy. Call 911 now. So 911 came in, they took me. And when I got there, I remember my doctor was there because it was his turn. Imagine, even my doctor was there, my OBGYN who actually delivered my 3rd child. He goes, Shani, if I don't operate right now, you'll die in 20 minutes. You no blood anymore. So I remember they brought this big, like 4 big, like, I don't know what you call it, bags or whatever it is, like of blood. And they were looking where to put because I did not have veins. So they're like, you have no blood, we need to operate. So usually they had to cut you open, clean out all the blood, and then they have to give you blood fast. So yeah, it was a wake. I mean, when I woke up, I don't remember what happened, because when I got there, I was already out. I was unconscious. I don't even remember. And then I woke up, I think the 4th day in the hospital. And I remember when I opened my eyes, doctors started coming in. They're like, miracle, miracle. And I'm like, why is he saying that? And then when I read up about it, because I already knew now that I don't have food poisoning, but I have ectopic pregnancy. I started reading and I was like, wow, I cannot believe that, first of all, I was misdiagnosed. Second of all, that I'm alive. I did not know how serious it was, and then I started thinking, God, what's the reason you saved me when all women die?
Mm-hmm.
So I started asking questions, what's my purpose in life? I'm pretty sure, if you saved me, it wasn't for me to continue running my businesses. So the whole view on everything had changed. So I started studying on, like I said, I could not walk before, right? So I had to learn how to heal myself, to start learning how to walk, and
Why is that? Because
when you
without blood.
lose blood, yeah, you don't have blood I guess, I don't know, to control your muscles. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Like, yeah, you cannot stand up even. First of all, you cannot even get up.
For
You
how
have
long? Yeah, for how long could you not walk?
I started walking maybe a couple of months after, because I was walking. They would make me walk on a walker, holding on, because you have no strength, so your legs start shake because no strength. Yeah, so you had to, because you have to get your hemoglobin up to be able to walk. So I had very low hemoglobin, so that's why.
Okay. So
Yeah.
when did you start thinking there was something that you were supposed to do next? Like when did that get clear to you?
After I started asking questions. I started Googling. I was like always tired, low energy, and I was like, how do I recuperate my energy? Like, for example, if you're losing hair, you will like, what do you take for anti-loss of hair or something like that, right? You Google and search it. So I started like low energy. How do I gain back my energy? How do I recuperate? And then like energy healer is coming out. I was like, energy healer? What's energy healer? So I was like, and I started looking into it. I was like, what's energy? I did not know anything about energy. I was like, what are you talking? So, and little by little, I started, when I started typing energy, this Dr. Joe Dispenza comes up a lot.
Mm.
And I'm like, who is this guy? So it's meditation. I'm like, meditation? What's meditation? I started learning what's meditation. You have to breathe. And every time I breathe, I would fall asleep. I was like, what kind of exercise is this? I could not come up because I'm a very hyper person.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, I would always fall asleep. I could never do any breathing because as women, mostly women, for some reason, we have this shallow breathing, right?
Mhm.
When we breathe with our chest. Actually,
Yeah.
men breathe properly. They breathe through their diaphragm. I guess they put their belly. That's the proper breathing. So I had to learn how to do that. I'm gonna tell you, it took time. To I only know I've been practicing energy only for a year and a half. So I became a healer just only recently, I believe, as of March of last year.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a long journey, but I learned everything about um, healing, how to self-heal, how to be able to where you don't have to go to doctors, like I don't go to doctors anymore, where you heal yourself. I mean, anything, you heal anything. There's
How?
energy.
How?
By breathing techniques, well, this is what I show in my program, right? So obviously breathing is part of it. Releasing is a part of it. It's a lot of things that you need to do, but these tools are available to you, and it's your tools that you do. And all I do is I teach people how to utilize their own tools that like they already been given by God that we forgot to use. And we depend on doctors and medications to do that. Well, how did people before, how did they heal before? They didn't have any doctors back then. They could not afford any doctors back then. They did not have any medications back then. All of a sudden, now we all completely, trust all the doctors. And I could tell you that, and when you learn about yourself, about your body, you could be on doctor. Obviously, I'm not saying don't go to doctors. What I'm saying, this could be as an addition to the doctors. Maybe you're not gonna go to doctors, where you're gonna stop taking meds. I was on heavy medications before myself. I don't take any meds.
So, okay, so you started with Joe Dispenza and you started breathing. And then what did you do after that? Like, how did you learn this? How did you learn all this?
So, the Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations are free online on YouTube. That's what I started doing every morning. Sometimes I would do 3 times a day. Which you don't need to. Then I found that you don't need to. Then now you're gonna become like meditation junkie. You don't want to be that. Yeah, I read about that too. So, but first you have to learn how to meditate to be able to getting into that state. All right, there are different state of level of minds where you have to get to specific one. When you meditate, you learn how to heal yourself during the meditation. You know how to manifest things during the meditations. So meditation is a very, very powerful tool. And once you learn how to become one, and when you become aligned with all your energy centers that we have here, that's when you actually become aligned and full and complete as a person, as a whole. Because right now we forgot how to do it, like as people, since we listen to other people's ideas, to society. They tell us how to live, how to work, how to survive, how to sustain. When you learn how to meditate, and when you learn about yourself and about your body, you don't need those external validations. You actually know exactly what to do. Because what happens is, once you align, you actually know and you know your purpose. You already have a clear directions why you actually came into this world. So, and that's what
How, yeah. How do people know their purpose? Is it just you just get it when you're aligned? I guess you're talking about
you have to be aligned first. It took me time to find out my purpose. I only found out my purpose, I would say, maybe last year, even end of year.
And how
Because
did you know? How did you know what it was?
alignment takes part. So you have to be aligned in order to find out your purpose, because there's special intentions. Then there are meditations that you have to do, specific lessons that I was talking about, the tools, right, that we have to use to first. You can't just get there until you complete this. So this is what I teach. So I won't be able to explain it on this interview because
Right.
yeah. So I do have accelerated program about to be launched, where usually, like, some healers, it takes time, right? But here I am, if someone is ready, like more like a boot camp type of program, if they're ready, because that's how I was. I'm a very hyper person myself. And as a CEO, I like things to be done yesterday. So even this alignment, I really wanted to happen fast, because I really wanted to find out my purpose. So, and I created a program where people can actually get there and understand the whole universe, how it works, where you can actually create things, right? To when you manifest, the manifestation happens so fast and easily, where you don't have to anymore be in a survival mode and start chasing for something, for your dreams, where your dreams actually come to you. This is what happens when you completely align and completely reach that, I guess, enlightenment, or that you work with your, per se, with your spirit, with your intuition.
Wow. Sounds very cool.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
It
I
is.
hear people,
It makes
yeah, I hear people say that. And then I took the manifesting mastery and I was like, okay, that didn't work. Like I wasn't.
You see, that's
Manifesting.
Hilary, when you say master, you a lot of people take different courses. Um, and I've taken different courses from different people, right? So this is where we met. We met at the Mind Valley. I've taken Oliver. I taken Joe Dispenza. So, and then I just created my own program, because what I did is I knew that from this person, this was working for me. From that person, this was working for me. From this person, this was working for me, right? So I took differently, and then I kind of individualized to myself. And that's how I started working, because I knew that most of the stuff that they were teaching, for example, some of it would work, some of it would not work. So I would just delete those that doesn't work, something that works, I keep. So that's how I was doing, like by omitting stuff that I already knew that this doesn't work. Okay, out. This works, this works. So I'll take bits and pieces and I just come up with my own program, because I feel like, because I hear from my other APs, from other accountability partners who they talk like why manifestation doesn't work, and then from this program they say my manifestation doesn't work. So everybody has the same issue like you, Hilary, but I was able to figure this out. I don't know how. And I know how. Sorry, I know how. What I did not say yet, after this thing happened to me in Paris, I started having visions. So, and I can ask questions from higher source and I would get answers. So I guess together with that, I was able to reach that enlightenment, because I kept asking how I do it. How do I do it? I want to get there. So I kept asking, I kept praying, I kept setting intentions. It's a proper intentions that you have to set up, proper healings that you have to do on yourself, proper releases that you have to. It's a lot of stuff. And then even this book, it was just, for me, it's their push. I did not want to come out, honestly. At first, I would be crying, like, no, I'm scared. The fears kick in, like that self-sabotage thing happens. But then once they tell you, they come in like, I am with you. I am right next to you. I'm inside you. When they tell you that you have to go, and when they tell you you have to go, you go. So this is actually, the credit is to them, to my angels, to Jesus, and to God, right? So it wasn't for them. And my book actually has illustrations of my visions. And you could see what I've envisioned, and I actually draw. If I cannot journal some stuff that I cannot explain with so what I start doing, I start drawing, because it's very hard to draw and describe to describe a person in writing, right? So who you saw, but when you meet with him, it's unbelievable.
Wow. Well, I hate to say this, but we have 2 minutes left to wrap up. So I want to make sure they can find you. So Shani.me, is that your website?
Shani.me, yeah, www.shani.me, and the Instagram is shinerise.us.
Okay. And then, okay. And then, so how would they find out about your course? On your website? Is that how?
Yeah, it's gonna post it. So as long as they follow me on Instagram, Instagram we will post when the launch is happening, and the website will have most of that's where they will log in, and the portal will be there for the program that I'm about to launch. And it's actually global. It's worldwide. I'm going to make it in different languages, because I do people who wants from other countries.
Great. All right. And in the last minute, what is your vision? If this all took off, or like, what's your vision for the world?
This is what I want, right? So me personally, I was able to achieve this highest frequency that I was searching for, and to find out my purpose, which I did. And I would like to help people to break out from that survival mode where they constantly battling and trying to survive, trying to stay afloat in life, and for them to be able to live in the most peaceful and whole, I guess, being whole, completed life, where they actually they are happy, they live harmonious, peaceful life with a purpose. The goal for this program that I also created is for them to find that purpose in life, when we don't need to have all the money in the world to be happy. We just need to find it in ourselves to be happy with whatever we have already. So this is my goal for people. I can teach you to do that because I went through it myself. I lived it and I experienced it. And if I can help even one person to change their life, to be happy, to be peaceful, to live in harmony with what they have, and to be able to self-heal, I think that will be the most I guess, dream that I could accomplish in this life. And I truly believe this is what I've been sent here to do it, to spread my love, the love to people so they could spread the love. It goes like a ripple effect. So this is my dream and my purpose.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing it, even though you were scared, and for being out here and, taking the guidance.
Thank you, Hilary. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be in your podcast. And I appreciate you. And I hope, this interview will help everyone.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Shani, check her out. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode. I started getting real with Hilary when I discovered that I was a people-pleasing, pleasant phony and wanted to be more of my real self. We can grow together if you will like the show, subscribe to my channel, and share this episode with your friends and family so that we can have a world that's more real.